Hey, buddy. Today I want to talk about Kindles, the ebook reader. Um, I have one and I love it. I've had a couple over the years. Traditionally, they've always had three ebook readers. They've had the basic Kindle, bare bones ebook reader, does what it says. Then they had the Paperwhite, which this is one, and its big feature was always the backlight. And then they usually had like an upper tier one that was usually a little bit larger. They had the Oasis and then the Voyage, then the Oasis, and physical page turn buttons. So you can hold it to the side. You have a grip here. Let me just open up a book. And you can squeeze to the side to go forward and backward in pages, which is really nice. I always really like that because you're usually gripping there anyway. You don't have to swipe or touch the screen and dirty it up with my Cheeto stained fingers. So I like the physical page turn buttons. They don't offer these anymore. They're higher now is what they call the Scribe, which is a larger like tablet that you can write on with a stylus for like note taking. So that's what their upper tier one is right now. And sorry. Hi. That's their upper tier one right now. So it doesn't look like we're getting anything with physical page turn buttons in a while. They've discontinued the Oasis, and the Voyage lasted even less long. But they usually what they'll do is they'll do a higher end one and implement some features and test things out, and then they'll be trickled down to the other ones over the years. So the Oasis did like warm pages. The pages could be a little yellow or orange. Remove the solid blue light. And then now the Paperwhite has that, and so the Paperwhite has all the features that the higher end ones had, higher resolution screens, stuff like that. And then the basic Kindle now also has a backlight, which is fantastic. So really, what you're getting from my research from the Paperwhite now is waterproofing, and usually they do like a flush or bezel. I think the Paperwhite's just a slightly larger, like less than an inch, and usually the bezel's smaller, so you have even more just kind of reading screen size. And what they call PPI is pixels per inch, I think, something like that. And that's just the resolution for the font. It's really good when you have pictures and stuff like that. It is going to be black and white, but there's any kind of diagrams, art. I can go to a home screen maybe. But anything with pictures and diagrams is going to be really good with the high resolution. But all of them are really good now. That was something, years and years ago. They're really kind of advertising, and now they're all pretty on par. They're all very, very legible. So the way the Kindles work, and I'll explain the models, but really make a pitch for why I do love them. So they are backlit, but Paperwhite and up, or Kindle, all of them now. But it's not backlit like you have from a phone or a laptop or anything. You don't have an LCD screen shining light directly into your eyes. There's a row of LEDs here at the bottom, and they're angled up. And then, I don't quite understand the technology, but the plexiglass screen, this frame, has these little microscopic etches into it. Little ramps that catch the light and redirect the light up. So the screen just kind of glows backlight. I'll turn it up as bright as I can. Yeah, you can tell it's backlit. Yeah, so it's just a very even diffusement, and you're not like staring into a bright screen, which is really nice. The base model has 4 LEDs. The Paperwhite and up, I want to say like 16 or 32. This is like a ridiculous number. So more LEDs on the bottom, you're going to have a more even diffusement of light. I've heard the reviews are if you have like 4, there's little dark spots right at the bottom. You have like 1, 2, 3, 4 in between the LEDs. It might be slightly darker at the bottom before it diffuses your arc, right? You're gonna have a little blind spot in between 2 of the lights. And more LEDs means you can have a much brighter light too. So I usually don't have the brightness up very high. It's not a flashlight, right? So you don't really need that. And one of the great things about the e-readers as well is you can read them in the sun. So the way the pixels per inch, the way that works is they have whatever it is, 300 little dots per inch. And the dots have a white side and they have a black side, right? And so whenever it forms the letters, it physically is turning these dots up and down It'd be great if I was wearing a glove or something, or had something double-sided like a coin. Anyway, it is physically or electronically switching. They might be magnetic. I don't know how they work. But anyway, they're switching these dots up and down to form the letters. That's what they call e-ink, right? It's physically there in the screen. And once that state is changed, once those dots are flipped, which is your page that you're reading, that is static. So you don't require any more battery. You can stare at that page for an hour. And you might have backlights or something that's draining power, which again is a couple LEDs, not taking a lot of power. But it is physically there, and it recreated those letters, those words, those pictures, those images, whatever they are. So you're not, if you have you're watching Netflix, your phone, your tablet, your laptop, that image is constantly doing power on the screen to hold that image in place. Not so with e-ink. That is a static image now. And so if you're looking at the sun, it is actually reflecting off those physical little dots. And so you can read it in the glare, you can read it in the sunlight, read it outside, which I do all the time, and it's great. Not having glare. That's why you don't really need a bright light, because you're not counteracting the brightness of the sun. You're just reading in dim areas if it's dark or dusk or nighttime, in a car or something. Oh, not in a car, but yeah. That's why you're conserving a lot of power. That's why you're able to have it outside, and that's why the battery life lasts so long. So the battery usually lasts like about a month. I'll charge it every couple weeks, every week, depending on how much you're reading still. But it's really nice. You don't have to charge it while you're using it. You don't really have to think about it. You're not charging it every day, which is all a really great feature for me. And you have the storage, because again, it's holding text, right? It can hold hundreds. Like I never remove books off this. You get a book, you download it, you keep it on there. There's not really a reason to go through and manage your storage. So you don't also need to connect it to Wi-Fi, which is another thing. If you're traveling or going outside, going on a walk, just have all your books on it, turn it on airplane mode, and that also greatly increases your battery life, because you don't need the connectivity as much, because you're not getting massive downloads of data and updates, which I like it because you don't have the distractions. It's really great for planes. It's really great for anything that you don't have a good Wi-Fi signal, or you don't want to carry a lot of physical books. Both of them you can, but it's really good to read one-handed. They're very light. Some heavier books is harder to read one-handed at weird positions or angles. So I love the one-handed reading in low light situations, wherever I am. I usually keep one of these in my bag. Just because I have all my books on me and I don't have to worry about charging it. I don't have the distractions of my phone, pop-ups on the screen, other connectivity. So phones do a lot of things really well, and you can have ebook readers, and I've used it in a pinch. You're bored somewhere, like, let me just work on this book I'm reading. But this does one thing really well, and to compare it to the Fire tablets, those are tablets. Those aren't, you can read books on them, but all the advantages that you're really getting, the e-ink, the battery life, the no distractions, the weight, the size, the compactness, you're not really getting on that. Those are tablets meant to sell you more media, shows, stuff like that, games. And again, they can read books. I've read books on a tablet, but I'm usually reading for hours, and you're just draining your battery. And I don't want to be draining my battery on my phone when you might be able to use it somewhere else. Like, that is, your rides, your tickets, your connectivity. Like, if you're actually traveling or anything, I don't want to be draining my phone battery for 6 hours. You don't always have plugs. But like this, I don't have to worry about it. I can just read without remorse. That is the different models. I do like these covers. These are their origami covers. This might be a Kindle thing. I think Amazon did come up with it, but I think there's third-party ones. They fold, so they call them origami, and then you get a little kickstand. So I'll usually prop these up on a table and then read with no hands, and then you just have to touch or swipe the screen. And the basic ones, you can tap, turn a page, you can swipe left and right. You can highlight chapters. I take notes all the time. My favorite terms of phrases. You can just touch and highlight and save it into your little notes for the book. And you can review those later, and they're all web-based. So you can just say, like, oh, here's all my favorite quotes or passages from books. I do that a lot. You can tap a word. Nope. You can hold on a word, and it'll show you the definition. And that's probably backwards for you. So a charger, a horse trained for battle, a cavalry horse. Awesome. So I knew what charger meant, but it's really nice if you do have a word. You're not, again, pulling out a second device. It has a dictionary built onto it. You don't need a whole Wi-Fi connectivity. So I love being able to look up words on the fly. That's another thing I really like. Another difference, I think the Paperwhites are like a little bit better of a processor normally, so you're gonna have a little faster load time on the pages. Not a huge deal. Now they don't have as many new features. They're getting a lot closer in models and price as they keep paring down those differences and the overall cost as things get a little more cheaper and achievable. So you get I'll show you the page warmness. I think they both have it, but I'll show you on this one because I know for a fact this one has it. So you can change up the warmth. And so I think you can tell. That was tech. What am I doing? Sorry, the angle's kind of weird. So that is just pure white, blue light, and then the warm light. So a lot of people really like that. I usually keep mine about a medium. Blue light doesn't bother me too much, but it's nice that they have it. They're all USB-C now. So yeah, waterproofness, a little bit faster page turns, the page warmth. That is about it. Let me know if you have any questions. I have had Kindles for about almost a decade. I've been a pretty big fan for a while, so no complaints. I haven't had any of them break or anything. There's not a lot of moving parts. There's not really a lot that go wrong. They're pretty simple and durable. I do have a case on them, but yeah, I've dropped them, carried them around, rain and sun and cloud and wind. So thanks for watching, buddy.